were they read aloud as complete stories? Were they fragmented, kind of like what we do today?
Yeah, I think we've inherited more recently a way of fragmenting them. Both scholars and the church, pastors, leaders, teachers, we're really comfortable with, a verse or 8 verses or 10 verses. So I just want to say, I think that's not a modern phenomena, or it comes up through the church kind of slowly over time. We have the voice of Justin Martyr from about 156 CE, who wrote this about church gatherings on Sunday, which I think is really interesting to give us a sense of what did the early church do. They wrote that in the church gatherings on Sunday, he wrote, quote, "The memoirs of the apostles," the Gospels really, or the writings of the prophets, Old Testament, if you think of it that way, are read as long as there is time. The reading of the Gospels and of the Old Testament was a priority as long as there was time. So I don't think they just stopped after 8 verses. It looks like they might have read 2 chapters, 4 chapters. One of the things that a scholar of Matthew, Graham Stanton, mentioned is that there are so many wonderful starting and stopping points in Matthew. Inclusios, that's like a bookending thing. A clear from that time on, Jesus began to on 4:17 and 16:20. So good place to stop for today. 4:16, read 1:1 through 4:16. Next Sunday, we'll pick up on 4:17. You can imagine the first time a writing appears in a community, they just want to hear the whole thing. Nobody wants to go home if they don't have to in the middle of Matthew, even though they might know the story from those oral traditions, they know parts of the story. To hear it crafted in this way would have been likely something to stay for. So I think longer sections of text seem to have been the tendency. Scripture itself became a feeding, something that fed people,
Right.
and not only think about Martin Luther and the primacy of the pulpit, and preaching becomes so important, and then preaching can be on 1 verse, 5 verses, 10 verses, kind of at the decision of the preacher. It seems like Scripture was centered a bit more maybe in those early years, though I'm no church historian. So,
right. And I, as a pastor, so, that is something that I think honestly is missing, right? You have, and a lot of these things are good intent, right? You have the apps on the phone that give you your favorite verse of the day, right? To encourage you throughout your day. And you're fed, even with social media and today, everything's fed to you in snippets, right? You got these like little short segments over here. We're so used to that. It's almost like unheard of to go, all right, I'm reading Matthew 1, 2, 3, and 4 today and reading it as a whole. And I think we're missing something from the scriptures when we don't do that.
If you want more conversations like this with the world's leading scholars and skeptics, make sure you hit that subscribe button. New episodes drop every single Monday.